Welcome to the South Ops Fire Weather Webcast for Wednesday, June 24th. I'm your host, Kristen Stewart. June gloom once again continues across coastal California as a deep marine layer remains in place. Low clouds have spread deeply across the coastal valleys and have even spread into many of the lower coastal slopes. Inland areas should clear pretty quick over the next couple hours, but closer to the coast, the clearing will be much slower. There also continues to be plenty of mid-level clouds moving northeastward across the deserts this morning. These are in association with some monsoonal moisture that has been moving into the region from the clockwise flow around the high-pressure area in control. I'll get more into that in just a minute. Aside from these clouds, it should be a bright and sunny day across most areas with summer-like temperatures as we move into this final week of June. As we start to put a bow on June and move into July, we are going to transition from a summer-like pattern to more of a late spring-like pattern. High pressure will remain centered over northern Mexico today, keeping us warm and dry, but not significantly so since we are on the western fringe of the high. This high pressure will weaken as we move into late this week, bringing a gradual cool down. An unseasonably deep trough will develop over the western U.S. Friday and linger through much of next week, leading to cooler than average temperatures and a deep marine layer. Let's get back to those mid-level clouds I was talking about earlier. Forecast models are indicating some lingering instability over southeast California today, alongside the mid-level moisture, though not quite as much as there was yesterday. As a result, there remains a small chance of isolated thunderstorms across southeast California today, particularly south and east of I-15. The potential lightning activity does not look very hefty, with only a couple dozen strikes possible at most. Any storms will continue to be fast-moving and on the drier side, as the moisture is limited to the mid-atmosphere. There will be an increased risk of lightning ignitions across southeast California today, though the risk is too small and isolated to warrant the continuation of any high risks. As high pressure remains in place, temperatures across the region will remain a little above seasonal average today. Highs in the 90s will be common across the valleys, 80s will be common closer to the coast, and around 110 will be common for the low desert. Little change in temperatures is expected on Thursday, though most areas will begin to slowly cool. With the deep troughing pattern developing, steady cooling is expected region-wide Friday and Saturday, with temperatures lowering to below seasonal average. By Saturday, 80s will be common across the valleys, 70s closer to the coast, and 100 to 105 for the low desert. The marine layer should remain prevalent through the forecast period, with night through morning low clouds expanding into many of the lower coastal valleys and slopes each day. The troughing pattern expected this weekend will serve to deepen the marine layer, leading to even more widespread clouds and slower clearing. Humidity will remain low away from the marine influence, with minimums commonly in the teens to mid-20s across the interior each day, except single digits in teens for the deserts. Humidity may become a tad higher over the interior for Friday and Saturday, but dry conditions will prevail nonetheless. Winds will remain light and terrain-driven today. Then westerly winds will become more enhanced for Thursday through the weekend as the troughing pattern develops. Winds will be strongest on Friday and Saturday, with widespread gusts of 30 to 50 miles an hour common across the deserts and adjacent slopes. It will also be quite breezy in and around the San Joaquin Valley. The increasing winds and lingering dryness will likely bring elevated to briefly critical fire weather conditions for portions of the area late this week and into the weekend, despite the cooling trend. Lighter onshore winds will return early next week, along with a continued deep marine layer and cooler than average temperatures as troughing lingers over the west. With regards to fire potential, there are a couple items of note for the next several days. First, there is an increased risk of lightning ignitions across southeast California today due to the potential for isolated thunderstorms. The high-risk triggers for dry lightning have been removed for the central Mojave and eastern mountains, since activity will be more isolated and shorter in duration than it was yesterday. Aside from that, the continued warm and dry conditions over the next few days will bring a continued risk for a new large fire on well-aligned starts, even in the absence of any critical fire weather. Despite cooling temperatures, the increasing westerly winds combined with low humidity will lead to areas of elevated to brief critical fire weather conditions across the interior Friday through the weekend. Areas of greatest concern will be in and around the San Joaquin Valley, as well as the deserts and adjacent lower slopes. The cooler than average temperatures, deep marine layer, and weaker winds will give way to lowering fire potential as we move into next week. And that's all I have for today. Thanks for tuning in. Our next webcast will be on Thursday, June 25th. Have a fantastic day.